Hey everyone, I recently had a conversation with Ayonjan Saha, who is a marketing team lead at Freshly Meals, and he worked in big giant companies like Swiggy, Flipkart, and Deloitte. So in this conversation that we had, we talked about how anybody can start their career in marketing, how anybody can enter into a B school, and what process is followed to crack a B school in India. So yeah, if you are looking for opportunities in marketing or in business field, especially in non-tech fields, so this conversation is for you. We have some questions from our audience, and we'll be asking that to you. The first is, what inspired you to pursue a career in management and business field?
Okay, so starting from there in 11th and 12th, I had science. So obviously, my parent wanted me to go for engineering since my background in family as well as all are in engineers. But post my 12th grade, my mother wanted me to do MBA. So I thought if I had to jump into MBA post engineering, why not save that 1 year and build up the basics in MBA? So it is kind of, you can say, my mother had initially pushed me into BBA part, which I grabbed up. And then when I was studying and going to the curriculum, it interested me how a product or any service when given to us, how you manage it, how you manage the people, and how strategy part exactly works in order to scale up any business. That is what something interested me. It grew curiosity within me, and as it's like expected post BBA, I tried to work. I worked for 2 years, and since it was COVID time, so definitely I had the opportunity to prepare parallelly for my MBA entrances, and I carried it from there.
Okay. Then how did you like manage your academic background to prepare for the industry? Is it more of you started that in BBA or you started preparing just in MBA? So what was your academic background that helped you in the industry?
Okay. So this was having come to India from outside because I did my schooling in Saudi Arab. So we were of the opinion that Indian students, since they go through so much of rigorous coachings and entrance exam preparation, they are very much matured in terms of knowledge and execution wise than us because we had limited resources. So when I got into Christ Bangalore for my BBA, I always had the opinion that I should have some practical exposure beside the theoretical knowledge that were given to us by a respective professor. So we, as a part of the curriculum, we had compulsory internship at the end of second year since it was a 3 year course. But right after my first year, I tried and jumped into internships through multiple platforms like LinkedIn, Internshala that time, and was fortunate enough to get opportunity because there I felt theoretical knowledge is fine, but when you put into practicality that knowledge, there are twists and turns where you have to mold your knowledge which you have and sync it with what is actually going on as a practice in the industry. So the knowledge which I got from multiple internship throughout my 3 years of journey, that had actually helped me crack the final interview in the final placement
Okay.
after my graduation. Because what happens is that see, theoretical not when an organization is coming to a B school, they have certain expectation from a candidate. So if you have definitely any university will try to equip all their students with equal amount of resources to make them best ready for the industry.
Right.
But if on at individual level, you have little bit of extra knowledge or practical relevant knowledge of the industry, that will provide you an edge over your peers. So that is what I had focused in terms of building up beside my academic knowledge which are provided. And definitely the curriculum and the pattern of studying, which is through case study and assignment rather than specific bookish knowledge and test, had definitely helped me enhance my knowledge.
Okay, so if any fresh grad wants to go to any MBA college, then what exams are there to qualify to get into a B school?
Okay. So this was told to by me as well by my mentor when I had taken coaching for MBA entrance exam. So what is ideally preferred is that if you have a job after your graduation, or if you have the opportunity of placement at your college, it is advisable to at least sit for a placement and grab an offer and at minimum work for 1 to 1.5 year if you haven't done any internship throughout your graduation, because all university across pan India doesn't have an compulsory internship as a part of their curriculum.
Right.
So what happens, people when they come freshly from graduation and enter into any B school for that matter, they somewhere or the other, because once you enter, your marks, your back knowledge doesn't matter much. It's how you cope up with your peer and execution of your knowledge matters the most. So where people are coming from 1 to 1.5 years of experience from industry and then joining with the fresher, their fresher gets little vulnerable and they get lost within in order to cope up. So
Yeah.
fine, this also has been seen affecting their summers as well as final placement, where some specific companies, everyone, whoever is joining any B school will have some dream company, right?
Hmm.
So in those dream company, if they are not able to crack it, whereas their peer are able to crack it because of extensive knowledge they have gained throughout their work experience, they get demotivated. And this affects their other opportunity as well.
Right.
So it's advisable for from my end at least to work at least for 1 to 1.5 year and then go for any MBA program. However, saying that obviously it's not compulsory. Anyone who wants to first complete their study and then go to the industry for working, that is completely fine. It's their personal choice. It's only if they're able to cope up, they're very good too. Because there had been scenarios as well in my batch as well as in my junior batches where freshers have been seen to perform extraordinarily well over the experienced people. So it depends from candidate to candidate. So coming back to your point for the entrance exams, so I would tell all the major entrance exam which happens in India, except for MAT and I
GMAT, I
think
think.
except for
And
what?
GMAT.
Not GMAT. GMAT is again a standardized one, and through that also you can get multiple colleges such as IMT Ghaziabad, Ford School of Management. They do consider GMAT scores as well. And people who have a good command in English, for that matter, I would say they should go for GMAT, and through that they can crack good B school colleges if they're not able to crack it through CAT or ZAT, which are accepted. So I'll just name the standardized exam which people should definitely go for, because you never know which exam would fetch you what score.
Right.
So it is definitely CAT, which is the common aptitude test widely known. Then is ZAT. And also this is a misconception that ZAT is only for Xavier's or XLRI. ZAT is also considered in multiple top-rated B school colleges such as IMT Ghaziabad, then you take Ford School of Management or IMI Delhi for that matter. So ZAT is something which is also considered at par CAT and is accepted by multiple good B school colleges.
Okay.
Then you can go for IIFT. However, it is very specific. I think IIFT exams has been removed and now they are also taking CAT, considering CAT as the exam, because like until last year, IIFT college, which is Indian Institute of Indian Foreign Trade. So they had their own exam. So now I think CAT has been merged there. So you can definitely check on that. And after that comes NMAT and then is SNAP. So these are the five broad exams which definitely you should go for.
Okay.
And if someone is very keenly interested for going to marketing, as for that matter, suppose as brand management or advertising for that matter, then they should focus one for MCAT. But however, MCAT you can only sit after you have qualified through your CAT or SAT. So preliminary exam, they have, I think, 80 to 85% of cutoff, where you should get SAT or in CAT, and then only you can sit for MCAT.
Understood. Understood. So after this examinations, does
Right.
a tag of a college matters? Does college reputation matters? I believe, of course, it matters for the initial stage, but does it matter for the placements for the higher approach?
Okay. So I'll make it keep it short so that it's better to understand. I'll take two example. Okay. One, you go for a tier 3 college, not naming definitely any college, just taking example. You go to a tier 3 college, you go to a tier 1 or tier 2 higher end college. Okay. Companies which had been coming there will keep on coming, and this is a blunt truth. And this, I mean, we can say it openly. Deloitte goes in all the three tiers. It goes for tier 1 as well, tier 2 as well, tier 3 as well. Okay. Because I had been there in my placement committee at my college, so I know in and out of the organization part.
Mhm.
So tier 1, if you, when they go, if someone is specifically focusing on campus placement for that matter, for that example, let us take for fresher. Tier 1, if you go, the role which you will get will be one notch higher than tier 2, then and two notch higher than tier 3 colleges. That is guaranteed. They won't hire you as an analyst position, which is the entry level position for all. Okay.
Okay.
So tier 3 will be analyst, tier 2 will be consultant, and tier 3 will be senior consultant. These are the demarcation which has been there standardized. Person who is let us consider all the three people are fresher. Okay. Let us bring it in same line. Person who is starting from analyst will take at least bare minimum 4 to 6 years, if they're exceptionally well, to reach senior consultant position. If you see in the academic, I mean, in the long run of corporate career journey. Person who is starting from tier 1 is already ahead of the person starting from tier 3 in 5 years ahead already in their career growth journey. So this is the major difference which happens. That is 110% guaranteed. This had been not 1 year, 2 year, but over the years, this has been standardized.
Okay. That's the
However,
harsh truth.
yeah, I mean, you can't help it. That's what I said in the beginning, right? Whenever an organization is going to any institute, definitely the capability of the candidate matters, but they will also have certain criteria internally set which will prefer students or candidate from higher institute, because this is obvious. Once you crack the CAT, once you enter any B school, it doesn't matter much, because professor, at least in tier 2 top level and tier 1 professors are more or less same. Because we had professors who are coming from IIMs as guest faculty. We had our professors, regular professor, going to IIFT, IMT Ghaziabad, then MDI Gurgaon as a guest faculty. So faculty knowledge transfer doesn't matter much once you enter into tier 1 or tier 2 top rated.
Okay.
Okay. But yes, this, I'm not being like disrespectful to any faculty of any colleges, but it does matter, because the curriculum is such that they won't be able to provide you with that exposure which a top MBA school will provide. Because a simple example I'll tell, you have certain alumni, strong alumni in certain part of the organization. For us, let us take, if you are talking about Deloitte, let us take Deloitte. Okay. So the reach which you will have after 5 years
Mhm.
from senior consultant to the whatever director or assistant manager or managerial level that person had reached, you will be able to contact that person directly, who is your alumni, rather than
Okay.
normal employee, right? So that person you can bring on board in order to mentor your upcoming batch, your upcoming students. On the similar level, if you go to a tier 3 person who has started from analyst, will be at the senior consultant level only. So if you that
Right.
get that person on board to train your students, so there has to be a difference in terms of the knowledge transfer and the method in which they are training their upcoming batch, right? So this is here where the clear difference comes in picture, because every B school, although they are having a strong relationship with the corporate, somewhere or the other, they have a strong backing from their alumni, which matters the most.
That's a good insight. Like every B school have its own placement offices and outreach cells, but alumni support is one of the major thing, I believe, right?
Because if you see, 2 years back, 2 to 2.5 years back, one college had come up, which is known as Bitsom, which is
Right,
part of its Pilani,
right.
right? So because they already had one MBA college established, which is BIMTech in Noida, but that wasn't performing well in terms of reaching higher ranks. So they had opened up Bitsom and in the heart of Mumbai, so that there the industry connection is grabbed, and they have brought up
Uh,
numerous and very well
right,
industry connections. They have brought up people from Nestle. They have made them as their permanent and regular faculty, as well as in their managerial level, they have included them. Why is this happening? Because they are being backed by BITS Pilani. BITS Pilani, BITS Meshra, which are the renowned famous name in India as well as abroad. So why is this happening? Again, coming back, BITS Pilani alumni are supporting them. And there has been public, um, press release where Bitsom had clearly mentioned that their students will be corporate ready, although they are very new as compared to IIT, IIMs students. But since they have a strong backing and mentorship from Bitsom, which is an existing giant in the market in university for that matter, so their students will be 110% equipped with the same level of knowledge of any big IIT or IIMs.
right.
So this
That's
is the
crazy.
clear cut, yeah, this is a clear cut industry experience which have happened in recent times. And you can see the stats as well. They are performing exceptionally well.
Coming back.
Yeah.
After this, like, does online MBAs matters or does they show their credibility out there? Or if you want to advise some fresh grads, uh, will you advise taking an online MBA or going offline? What you prefer?
Okay. So this had been a general question to any student who had come in, may it be fresh grad or even 1 to 2 years of people who are
Right,
experienced. Because what happens when you start working or you start earning, you are like, there are very few people who wants to leave that financial stability or financial independence back and get back to studies again. So they think that online MBA parallelly they can manage it with their work or any hobby or work entrepreneurship they are pursuing. Saying that, see, when you had started your graduation, there also option is there for
right,
open graduation post 12th, right?
right,
So why did you take that? You went for a regular one
right,
because your focus was there to achieve something good, to get a formal, proper education. Then why are you risking it with your MBA, which is at least for 80 to 85% of students, for them, it is the highest degree in India. Because very few people will be there, post that who will do PhD, go to faculty, become a faculty or go abroad, do higher studies, right? MBA is till date considered one of the last and topmost degree which any student pursues.
right.
So for initial degree, if you didn't risk it, if you didn't want, if you had put your full focus into a regular course or curriculum, then why are you risking it for the last and the topmost, which will
Right.
ultimately stay with you till the end of your corporate journey?
Yeah. Alumni Connect is also a thing, right?
See, Alumni Connect, I would say, see, Amity has started their online. Okay. So Amity will definitely say, or I mean, not specific to Amity, I'm telling any MBA college who is providing online MBA, they will say that alumni base we have, or alumni support will be there, irrespective if you are of if irrespective of if you are in
Offline or
online
online.
or offline batch. Okay, so that doesn't matter. Alumni base matters only with the college you are going. It what matters the most is your peer connection. So peer connection is something which is definitely built in offline only. Online it's next to impossible, because if it would have been the scenario like 3 to 4 years back, then people might not have been able to relate to it. But for the upcoming generation and students, clearly they can relate it when they were going under COVID part of, uh, graduation. And if they had got the opportunity, at least for a month or 1 year, to go for offline, they will be the best people who have experienced both the end to judge and take a decision on their own, because the
Right.
connection which you make during your offline MBA or regular classes is way different from online part. I mean, I have told this to you before as well once when we met, but I'll reiterate once. Just one small example. In a week, if you have 5 classes, may it be early in the morning of 8:30 a.m. Due to some reason, 2 days you have to go offline, and 2 days, 3 days you take online, right? It is a general human tendency, and me including, me being no different from it. In online MBA, right in the morning of 8:30 a.m., having a mindset that winters are coming, nobody can or will even focus or open the mind to understand what is being taught in online, I'm telling. Okay.
Right.
For me, I'll tell my own experience, not taking ball on anyone. So I personally at 8:30 a.m. morning class, if it was online, I would just open my laptop, enter the class in the beginning. Then once the teacher takes the attendance in the beginning, I'll just mark my attendance and I'll go to sleep. Simple as that. And we had this connection of understanding among friends who would just call you, keep on calling you before the attendance begins. Whoever
Right.
is away, to take turns. Like today you will stay, today other day you will stay, like that away. So it's like complete 40 to 45 minutes of knowledge transfer, which is supposed to happen from faculty to you, completely goes waste. And at the end of the class, you will just wake up, give attendance, shut down the laptop, done. Similar timing, not similar, same exact timing, similar setup offline. You are going to class. I'm not telling that you will be mentally present
Right.
there, or you won't be feeling sleepy at all. But coming to that, this is part of the curriculum of any B school, irrespective of any tier. That case study is the method and actual way of studying, and that is being guided and enforced by any faculty. So they will provide you at least, for my experience, I'll tell how is it spread in a class. It may vary here and there in other universities as well. 15 to 20 minutes of knowledge transfer will happen verbally or through like visuals. Post that, there will be a case study provided in order to put that knowledge in practical, to
Right.
apply that knowledge practically. So when you are getting evaluated on that case presentation or case analysis, you will have to by default put in your mind.
Right.
Because online, what happens online, since AI had come up, so it is very easy to upload it to ChatGPT or put it in Gemini and get the result and submit it.
Right.
You don't have to put in your brain, and nobody is there for that matter to cross check.
Right.
But in the class, if you're doing under the monitoring of the faculty, and you won't even feel that if a hard copy is given, to type it down or click pictures and get the solution from ChatGPT or Gemini, you will feel curious and interested in order to put your brain, because case studies are like that. It's a real time business incidents which have happened in the market, which is being taught to you.
Right.
Because ultimately, if you are serious for your placement, this is something which is going to help
Right.
80% of this and 20% of what all bookish knowledge or guidance you are getting from faculty.
Right.
So this is the major difference which happens. In offline, you will put your brain, you will connect with people, you will have a you will have 360-degree different perspective.
Right.
You will There had been scenario where where a solution was thought of for a particular problem by five people, but the sixth person who gave a completely different solution was not even imagined by the faculty, and that is where the team were also sent ahead to present this solution to the corporate itself.
Oh,
Because I'll give this niche insight. This had been, I don't know if somebody have been able to crack this or have been able to notice. There are competition which Nestle, or for that
yeah.
matter, other organization, multiple organization, Asian Paints, they keep on conducting. So there was one organization, just a minute. It was of some pan masala, some big one. I'm not able to recall the exact name, but it was a very big brand of pan masala. It had huge market share. From past 2 year, it has started. It has started a B school competition, which is named as Trend D Setter.
Okay.
Okay. So what they did, there were few researches which were happening at the back end. Since I was in touch with the organizational heads, having them as an recruiter from our campus and being like in the placement committee, so I had a direct touch. So that's why I was able to gain this insight. So Trendy Setter, they had organized it, and so as I was telling, the research was going on how to enhance the quality, or for that matter, customer experience of the market. Because although they were one of the marketing giant in the industry, they were losing shares because of other competitor. Some So there had been strategies, experience mind working on that from several months, but they were not able to crack it, not able to attract the right customer which they were looking for. So through
Okay.
this competition, it was an experiment from their end, that what all fresh perspective new students or at student level they can provide,
Okay.
so that they can change their point of view. Obviously, any student idea they won't take directly and replicate it, because it has to undergo certain types of feasibility check or certain types of practicality check.
Yeah.
But the small ideas or distinguishable ideas, which is fresh coming from the students who are learning, changes their perspective. They might not even have thought about that this could be a point of view, this could be a way of thinking, that in terms of executing their plan of action. Because sometimes this happens, I'll take a technical example in a coding. So anything which you watch on any website or something,
Right.
heavy code goes on behind, right?
Yeah.
So in my previous organization, so there my like immediate reporting manager previously had was working for Adobe.
Okay.
So everything was working fine. He was a hardcore coder, so everything was working fine. He had tested numerous times and done. But before presenting, they had a procedure that they had to run it on their own laptop and get their senior checked, because you are presenting it as a final to the higher authority.
Right.
And at Adobe, they don't have much time for you. So what happened during that run? Everything was fine. But after that, their senior had checked, so somewhere there was a lag in terms of the visuals which are trying to present. And so since he that person was very experienced, the senior person, he said this is an usual bug which happens, that is not much of a concern, and they went to present it. So when they started presenting it, everything was going fine, fine. But in the last 5 minutes, when the final visual was supposed to come, which was lagging at that time, it got shut down.
Okay.
Automatically, the system shut down. They tried to recover it because huge giants and experienced people are there. They detected that a bug had entered, which had corrupted the complete file itself. So
Okay.
what all presentation they had been making from, obviously they would have a backup, but at that moment, the file entirely got corrupted within 15 minutes. So what happened? Then obviously that was a bad reputation. And fortunately, it was not a client presentation. It was only internal higher management presentation. That's why nobody lost their job. Because there were scenarios which he had like obviously personally told mistake at this level before without checking, because there are several layers which they had already, so that no mistake happens at client level. Because you can't afford
Right.
to have,
Right.
if
Right.
a client has n number of option in the market, but you do have that one client only.
Right.
So you can't afford to make any mistake.
Right. Right.
So what happened? It was nothing much. It was just that when they checked the coding from backup, it was just a space bar mistake. Just a space
Okay.
bar was, yeah, just a simple space bar was there. That is why the duration of visual which was being shown, that got interrupted and full file got corrupted. So what is the point only for me to bring forward this niche example is that attention to detail is something which anyone should build a kind of skill within them. Because you go to any profession, attention to detail is necessary. So now relating this with again with offline and online. In offline, there will be students will be highly focused into one particular thing, and their attention to detail skill
Right.
will automatically get built up. Whereas for online, it will be a casual approach,
Right.
simple, clear cut. So for me, 110%, if everything is feasible, obviously financial matter, everything comes up. But saying that, nowadays also in Indian education system, student loan had been a very good
Option.
opportunity.
Yeah.
And also there this people mean several know, several doesn't, but I would give it up. I mean, I'll put it forward for a general information. There are certain bank who has certain list of colleges
You
who
get
fall
the
under the
scholarship.
A category. Yeah, not scholarship for that matter, A category. Because what happens in this A, B, C category is that people think that there will be high rate of interest which we have to pay to the bank, and it will be a negative thing in the long term. Okay. So what happens in this category is that if your college falls under the A category of that bank, you get the minimum
Understood.
rate of interest which is circulating in the market. On top of that, not only this, without any collateral, up to 20 lakhs is granted to you, which is
Okay.
the which is like the tuition fees. If you check for top B school, ranges mostly around 20 to 25 LP,
Right. Right.
not more than not more than that, definitely below it.
Okay.
So if you are falling under their A category college, they will definitely, it will be very smooth journey for you. And obviously you need to have few documents in place. It will be a very smooth journey for you in terms of getting the loan. And there is no problem in that. Because what
Good.
happens is that if I, for example, have an account in ICICI Bank, and I'm going to a college which, and this is human tendency that I have a strong
Right.
relationship with
Yeah.
the executives at ICICI, I'll take it from ICICI itself. But the rate of percent they're charging may see like 1 to 2%
May
of
vary. Yeah. It may
1 to
vary then.
2%. Yeah. But in the long run, it will vary a lot, because this is at least 5 to 10 years of long duration, which will be there with you.
Right.
Student loan is not something that in a year or two you can repay.
Right.
Until and
So,
unless definitely have an exceptional placement of 50 lakh 1 crore rupees.
right. So I will just ask you one last question that is from our team. That any advice that you want to give to any fresh grad who is just starting his journey in management?
Okay, so management background, that's good. If you're not, then go through the curriculum of the basics of accounting or finance for that matter, because that is required for any domain you go. If you're going for
Right.
marketing, that doesn't mean you don't require finance knowledge or anything. So build up your base of 11th and 12th, go through the basics and focus on the entrance exam, because that is something which is ultimately going to get you at least opportunity of interview in any school, B school. Okay, once you crack that, focus on preparing with the, your knowledge of your domain, of your undergraduation, what you have done, and also if you have work experience, how relevant you can show the work experience in your interview. These things you can touch upon. And having said this, best also I would recommend it is, if you can prepare on your own, it's very good. Otherwise, you definitely need to take help of any coaching center for that career launcher, IMS, any. So that would be the best way.
Sure. Thank you, Erin. Thanks a lot for like enlightening us and peaceful journey. Thank you for joining and answering the questions.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.